So, if your business still depends on your team remembering what to do next from their SOPs, or say they're constantly searching through emails to find some critical piece of information, or manually copying and pasting information between one system and another, then AI can solve a much bigger problem than simply helping you write your content. It can help you run your operations and make your team possibly into a powerhouse. So, in this conversation, Austin Willman is going to explain how small businesses can use AI to organize company knowledge, automate repetitive tasks, and close operational gaps that can slow down your business growth. You're going to learn the two best places to start, even if you have a small team and no technical background. So, let's dive into it. Okay, so we are here with Austin Willman of Willman Ventures. And Austin, you know, this goes back probably we've known each other for at least 2 years now, probably longer than that. We started with marketing school with Eric Sue and Neil Patel way back when.
We were so young back then, JP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been over 2 years now, and it's just crazy how fast time flies. I don't know if we are truly in the Matrix or what's happening, but
Oh, goodness, yes.
yeah,
But yeah, we started kind of conversations like right before AI hit and
yeah,
became big. And so I
yeah,
remember our conversations was like how we do this, how we do that, and then AI comes along and just blows everything up.
yeah. It pretty much just wipes it all out. It's like, okay, that's all irrelevant.
Yeah. And now you've fully embraced the AI side of things and kind of venturing into this on your own now with Willman Ventures. And
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, tell me what that kind of that thinking, that journey is on, you went from there to here, and now you're full tilt on this stuff. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. Um, so there are a couple frustrations that I noticed in the world, and I've recognized that over the past 10 plus years, I have been the type of person who's very organized. Even though I have ADHD, that actually allows me to focus very deeply on a few things
Sure.
when the conditions are right. I moved to Arizona to sell solar door to door. So I did
Yeah.
that for 3 years and I got to see firsthand at three different solar companies what their operations look like, the founders I was very close
Right.
to. And I saw that there's a gap between the work that a founder builds the business around, right? Like solar installation, roofing
Sure.
installation, HVAC, et cetera. There's a gap between the work that they do and the operations that enable them to do that. So after I got out of solar, I moved into marketing. That's where you and I met, JP.
Sure.
I got to learn from Eric Sue, who is a total,
Oh,
badass at,
yeah,
at
absolutely.
marketing and AI. So cut my teeth in marketing over the last 2 years and get the front row seat on the newest models, what other agency owners are doing. I've hosted over 200 podcast episodes with
Right.
marketing leaders from around the world and digital entrepreneurs. So I get to really see across the breadth of the industry how agency owners are using cutting
Mm.
edge AI. And I'm combining that with my experience of door-to-door sales and solar and home services.
Yeah.
So that's who my market is. Wilman Ventures handles everything in between the work that is being billed for.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running a marketing agency. I can tell you operations for small businesses are like, no, I've got to I got to get out there, sell. I've got to get out there and help my customers. Operations is a past thought. They don't think about it.
Yeah,
Because I
exactly.
mean, it takes a lot of effort. But in my opinion, operations is where you can truly excel as a company in your
Hmm.
growth. If you can have your operations all lined up and ready to go, you can handle scaling so much easier. If you can't scale, you can't grow. And that
Yeah.
comes mostly in operations side of things. So
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's sexy to talk about sales, revenue, new clients, onboarding, and all of that is true. I mean, the
Sure.
business needs sales. We need new revenue. But kind of what you're alluding to is the back end is how efficient are we with delivering whatever it is to the client once they're on board?
Right.
And that's if a founder starts a roofing company because he was actually on the roof, he was in the truck, and he said, you know what, I'm so upset by the way this current company does it. I think I can do it better.
Mhm. Sure.
They have the operational knowledge of how to install, but everything else they're going to hire for.
Right.
And they can do that because home services typically have pretty substantial margins and high ticket prices. What that does is it dilutes the intention of every step along the process.
Right.
If you bring in someone from, let's just say a $3 million a year roofing company has a staff of 8, like a back end staff.
Right.
All those people are expected to bring industry experience or their own ideas and try to patchwork, kind of Frankenstein the process that the founder hasn't been able to dive deep on.
Right. Yeah,
So,
exactly. So, yeah, they're technicians.
yeah.
So you got a technician that said, hey, you know what? I can go start this business on my own. And he goes out there and he does great work. And he does all these roofs and does amazing work. And start getting referrals in, but he doesn't know is how to run a business. That's a totally different story than actually doing the technical work. It's your classic e-myth kind of stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
They just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
Do I have that book? Ha!
e-myth.
Look at that.
There you go. I've got one on my shelf over here. Yep, absolutely. Great stuff.
I knew you were
If
going
you
to bring
haven't
it
read
up.
it, you
So,
got to read it. It's good stuff. But yeah, I'll give you example. So AI, man, we're used to, right now everybody's like, oh yeah, go ask AI Chat GPT this question or how to make a recipe or create me some content. And yeah,
mm,
I actually got a phone call so I called up my AC guy the other day and
mm,
it was after hours. I had an AC, I'm not, had an AI pick up the phone and have a conversation with me. It actually took me a few seconds well, actually like a minute to figure out I was actually talking to an AI because it was so responsive and it was
mm,
so dialed into their business. But you're talking operations, so that's sales. And yep, when it comes down to it, I'm still like when I talk to a AI bot, I'm like, oh man, just give me a person for I want to
yeah.
talk to a person. But when you're talking operations and AI helping with that, what are we talking about here?
Yeah. So I'm bullish on voice for the future of how businesses run. If you think about how work is done, there's typically like a place where work lives. If you think about your own business at the agency,
Hmm.
you have like Docs or like Google Docs. You have
Sure.
I wouldn't consider like any channel like email or Slack or Teams or WhatsApp or anything like that. This is just to communicate like where work starts and ends, but it's not the work itself.
Okay.
So in these communication channels, there's if it's via text, there's a big lag time. But to have a meeting, like typically if you're scheduling a meeting, there's a lot of information that goes into that, and then you have next steps that then get placed in like a project management tool. So the future that I'm seeing is you'll have voice agents that are either dedicated to like each team, and the
Mhm.
team can either send a voice note or they can make a call and say, "Hey, can you give me an update on what the status is of this project? What's blocking it?" It will have access to the project management tools, all the database, like the knowledge base, and they will be able to literally talk on the phone with an agent that can take action on their behalf. So I think
Are you
this is
talking
the
like a
way.
virtual assistant kind of
Yeah. Hmm.
capability? Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, something like that. But imagine like at the end of each day, the manager of each team, let's say you have 5 teams, right? Sales,
Hmm.
marketing, ops, finance, whatever, legal.
Yeah.
The manager of each team calls their agent, gives them updates on all the projects or processes, what happened, et cetera. And then all of those agents collate their information into one database, and the CEO can have a call with a different agent that understands like the
The
whole
whole
entire
picture.
scope of what everybody's doing.
Right.
So this sort of like closed loop, like if something gets worked on, like whoever received that information, that closes the loop and it lands somewhere as data.
Hmm.
That's what I see missing in a lot of operations is there's a lot of open loops, a lot of like sending an email and not sure if it's received,
Yeah.
responded to, what the other person's
Internally.
thinking.
Yeah.
These close the loops.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very, very task oriented.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I can definitely see it because going on the virtual assistant type of a concept. I mean, that industry has exploded here over the last few years.
Yeah,
You've got specialized virtual assistants in all sorts of different industries now,
yeah,
so they know how to speak the language and things along those lines. But if you've got AI that's has all of the internal knowledge and is tied into your systems, tied into your calendars, tied into all these bits and pieces. I mean, you mentioned financials. I mean, okay.
yeah,
So if I could have a conversation rather than having to go log in to my QuickBooks and find the report, which I can never remember where it's at, and say, okay, how am I doing this month? If I can go to my AI and say, hey, I need this information, and it's right out to access that stuff. That's pretty powerful and pretty powerful, I would think.
yeah. It's pretty dope. There's a so I am putting a lot of my work on ClickUp, which man, if I don't know if ClickUp IPO'd, but if they do, I am most definitely gonna get in on
Yeah.
that because man, what a powerful platform. I'm in the process now of building out agents because if you think of a company, it's a series of systems and processes
Hmm.
that execute tasks based on a knowledge base with goals and and then you have people to execute those tasks that have the knowledge that understand the goals.
Right.
So if you have all of that information and using tools to execute that, that's all an agent is. It's like those four components
Right.
and with a trigger and an action. So in ClickUp, they have agents that you can build that accomplish specific tasks, and they have all sorts of APIs and integrations. So I now have automations that say, okay, when a prospect moves from like it contract sent to contract signed, it can tag that agent to go create whatever I need it to
Right.
create, just as like an assistant would do or like a customer
Sure.
success manager.
Yeah. Now, what I love about this, well, one of many things I love about
Hmm.
this, is that it's not what you just described. It's not taking away from the jobs. It's not destroying jobs. It's
Yeah.
actually because people are involved. Your customer service representatives, they're full of knowledge and information and what have you, but they're able to get things done. You're not taking them away. You're just putting it's kind of like the glue between
Hmm.
all the different departments that you've
Yeah.
got and helping them make better decisions faster than going to log in somewhere and looking it up. You can say, hey, what is it? You've got the answer instantaneously and you can act on it right then and there, which is amazing for customer service because
Hmm.
if they've got those answers at their fingertips when they're like on the phone or something like that, and they just say, hey, I need this, this, and this. And the AI goes, grabs it, pulls it back. Here you go. Awesome.
Oh, it's freaking awesome. What I see in a lot of companies, and I'm going to attribute this to our friend Rebecca Gonzalez, who was also in the Agency Owner Association back when you and I were.
Yep.
She said a lot of operations, I don't know if she was specifically speaking about hers, they are held together, what did she call them? Popsicle sticks and duct tape. And that visualization is so freaking true. Like
Yeah.
there's things
Sure.
that are solid, there's things that are flexible and trying to hold everything together. But as you alluded to, AI layer over top of all the operations is just like a blanket that connects everything. It just turns it into a web.
Right. Absolutely. Well, I mean, there are so many of us are out here are, we're using AI for lots of different purposes and get a lot of stuff done. I mean, I'm using it for creating code. I'm using it to help create campaigns and things along those lines. But there's tons of companies out here that haven't even touched it yet. Well,
Hmm.
from a business perspective, we use it
Hmm.
all every day now, but
Yeah.
they haven't used it from where would some where I mean, if I'm a small business owner, I've got a team of 5 or 10 people, where do I even begin in order to do what you're talking about? I mean, where do you even start? Because there's tons of information out there, but
Yeah.
where's really the right place to begin with this if they're going to pull AI into operations?
Two places that I would recommend, or I guess concepts to think about. One is there's the LLM, which is like what you would consider, or we would consider like ChatGPT or
Right.
Claude or Gemini. It's
Mhm.
it's a chat-based model that has information and you ask it for information.
Sure.
An easy win is to learn how to train custom GPTs with your company's knowledge. ChatGPT and Claude both have projects that you can dump a bunch of data. You can connect to other data sources like your Google Drive, like QuickBooks, like
I've done
anything
that.
else.
Yep, I've done
You
that.
can
And now it knows all sorts of internal information that I was like, but one thing to note is that they actually don't take that information and make it public knowledge, is my
right.
understanding. Is that correct?
You have to go into the settings of your
Mhm.
model and turn that off.
Okay,
So
good
it's
to know.
on by default.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. If you're really concerned about privacy, you can take models offline. They take up a lot of compute power or a lot of space on
Sure.
your RAM, but you can do something, I believe it's called Olama. I haven't done it, but it's basically like an offline LLM,
Right.
which is pretty
Sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be from those cases that you're like, I'm really concerned, or maybe like a medical office or something along those lines
Yeah.
where you needed to kind of privatize that information, but you still want to get advantages from being able to utilize these platforms. Um, cool.
So like,
What else?
yeah, the LLMs are the first place that I would
Hmm.
do in terms of customization and making it business specific to you,
Right.
outlining all your goals, your roles, your tasks, the SOPs, all of that can be included in a custom GPT. That would be the first thing that's pretty low hanging. The
Sure.
second thing is just um, understanding triggers and actions. So
Hmm.
if you look at any task or any role in your organization, there's essentially something happens, and then when something happens, something else happens because of that. So you have the trigger and then you have an action. If you can figure out that trigger and action, like just a 1-2, if you can figure out that concept and start to look at your day-to-day operations as triggers and actions, you can start to piece together, like even in Gmail or Google Drive or whatever, there's something not many people know, but at the top right, where you have like the settings and options and everything like that,
Yeah.
there's something called Studio. It's next to the Gemini logo, which is kind of like a Polaris North Star.
Yep. Seen it.
Um, yeah. So there's something called AI Studio that Google has, which is just a basic like trigger action automation system that they just implemented like a month ago.
Okay.
So all of these sort of process that function that way,
Hmm.
they're all over. Like pretty much, I'm sure if you go and look for it in any of your tools or tech stack, you will be able to find
Yeah.
some sort of
They've all
simple
got it.
trigger task
Yeah.
automation.
So email comes in to customer service at company.com.
Yep,
That would be your input that's
the
getting
trigger.
triggered. AI can take a look at it. Is this something that I can answer? Is this an easy answer? Respond immediately. If it's
Yep,
not something I answer, I elevate it to the next ticket level, and it goes off to maybe a human to get answered. So
boom.
yeah, it's a great way of interacting with the audience. Now, one thing to take in consideration is garbage in, garbage out. And so if you have a bunch of garbage in your repository and it's not good, though you're
Hmm.
going to get the same results out of your LLM. So you need to make sure that your data is solid, that it's actually useful, actionable, all that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but now I have seen in some cases where like you record your phone calls, your customer service department records their phone calls, and that ends up getting recorded, translated to text, and put
Hmm.
into that LLM for knowledge. And so that's a great way of getting good information in real fast if you've got a strong customer service team. So that's one way of looking at it.
What I ended up doing for the AOA when I was community manager there,
Yeah.
we had mastermind or I guess master class calls
Hmm.
as frequent as once a week, and we would bring in like guest speakers from around the world,
Right.
people who were
I remember
running
they were
massive
great.
businesses.
They were great.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I would record those calls on Zoom. I would take the transcript, and what I found is usually an hour-long call, the transcript is too long to be fed into a GPT and referenced efficiently. So
Hmm.
with LLMs like tokens and like what do they call it? Like token efficiency, basically.
Yeah.
The cost it takes the LLM to review something in order to find the right information is pretty high for a raw transcript. So what I would do is take the raw transcript, send it into Chat GPT because Claude wasn't there at the time.
Sure.
And I had my own like custom prompt that said review this transcript and pull out like the key information, the key point of views that
It's a
differ
great idea.
differ from
Yeah.
anything else, and
Hmm.
then create kind of like a training doc that you can use for
Yeah.
yourself, that will allow you to get the main points in
Mm.
a way that like can be retrieved easily. So I had like four different custom GPTs from the AOA, from the masterclass speakers. I had like an operations, a sales, and a marketing, and like a leadership custom GPT where I could ask questions. Hey, I'm having this challenge in my business. I'm trying to onboard a new salesperson. They're telling me this, but I think it's this. What would you do? And that way, instead of reading through all the transcripts, it can just go through like the distilled, extracted
Right.
knowledge of the masterclass speakers. So,
And I think that's actually one of the things that, executives can really take away is, you've got all this information coming in. And so you've got
mhm,
customer service calls, you got customer service emails, you got all sorts of information coming in on how customers are interacting with your brand. And as a leader, what I'd want to be doing is, all right, let's mine this information. Okay, LLM, ChatGPT, you've got all my information here. What are the problems that you see that are regularly occurring, and how can we go about fixing them? And so it's kind of
mm,
like an idea generator. So if there's all sorts of working geniuses that are out there, and
mm,
so if you're not somebody who's really good at creating ideas and coming up with solutions, that's one of the power of this is that I can go to that. It's got all my data handy. I can say, where are the business problems at that you're
yeah,
seeing or that people are talking about, and what can I do about it?
mm,
And it will ideate with you right there. It's okay. You can go back and forth in having conversations. It's bringing up problems in the business that you can use to actually grow the business. Because that's at the end of the day, if we're not using these tools to grow the business, then yeah, you just yeah, why do anything?
yeah, exactly.
So
It's like why we're here. Yeah.
exactly. Cool.
You've mentioned we've kind of breezed over it a couple times in this conversation, JP, but you've
So
mentioned data and like data quality. And where I find that businesses drop the ball is they'll sit on a call or a Zoom call or an internal meeting or something, and they'll have the transcript from that. And they know that they can send that transcript through an AI to extract that sort of,
right.
the key points, but it's a step. Like it's friction. It's an extra step that they have to go through. So
Sure.
that would be a great place if I
Yeah.
if I were listening to this podcast to start with a trigger automation is when a transcript is finalized, whether that's, whatever note taker you want, they all have APIs. When that transcript is finalized, send it over to custom GPT XYZ, and extract this information, take that information, and then, there's a series of steps, but
Do
that
something
would be
with
the
it.
first place.
Do something useful with it. Yeah.
Yes, do
Oh
something
man,
useful.
this is one of the stuff that I kind of love. Yeah, yeah. YouTube's got to do it eventually. If they haven't done it already, they're going to do it. It's like, okay, I watched this. Now give me the highlights, give me the details of what is actionable to my. So GPT, my business. I
Mm,
watched this, feed this video into mine and tell me what I can do about it and send out. And based off of that, send to my team
mm,
things that you want to do about it, things that you want to fix.
mm.
I don't know. There's all sorts of ways of interacting with this
Yeah,
content. So whether it's internal, external, you name it, I want to extract value from this stuff, and I think
yeah,
it's again operations.
yeah, yeah,
It's being able to collect information, collect insight, and create insights out of it to grow our business.
yeah, yeah. There's something I use. It's called vidIQ. It's not
I've seen
necessarily,
that. Yeah.
yeah, vidIQ. I mean, they had some sort of a deal, so I bought the annual
Yeah.
subscription. It was not that expensive. Um, but that has something similar. It's not automated, but you can automate it. It now has a Claude
Mm,
integration, vidIQ.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but there
See,
is
it's
a
just a
way
matter of
where,
time. It's
yeah, exactly. There is a way that you can ask, like, okay, what are the key points of this video and how do they apply to my channel is already integrated into vidIQ. But now since it's integrated into Claude, I'm sure you could just be like, how does this apply to my business?
yeah.
I think it's there. I think
Yeah.
it's there, JP.
Cool. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, so you've always heard, I love gardening. I have all sorts of trees out in my back and what have you. And the best time to plant a tree was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Otherwise, now. And so, I mean, if I'm a small business, I'm listening to this. I mean, what should I be doing right now if I haven't embraced this stuff?
Document all your processes. That's the first thing. If you're going to install AI anywhere in your organization, you have to treat AI as if you're bringing on a new employee. So if you if it's hard for you to get a new employee in any given role up to speed very quickly, it's going to be difficult for you to implement AI in your business.
Hmm.
So, you can assign tasks to the managers who can then assign it down the roles if you have that many layers in your
Right.
business of management, but document all your SOPs. I even recommend, I made a LinkedIn post about this. You can have someone you trust from another department or someone you trust from outside of your organization, like a sister or brother or something like that,
Sure.
come in and ask you, like you'll give them a list of tasks that you do on your daily basis, and they will ask you how you do them step by step. And you can share your screen and walk through each of your tasks to someone who has no idea how to do it. And in the process of doing that, you will no doubt find gaps and assumed knowledge that you have stored in your brain that if somebody new coming into your organization was not you, they would
Yeah,
miss out. That's a great way to start.
definitely. Cool.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Austin, really appreciate it. So, for those watching, if they want to get in touch with you to learn more about this stuff, how can people get in touch with you?
My last name is Willman. A lot of people get it wrong with Williams, and I'm
I've done
34 and
it.
I've had it,
I've
I've
done
had
it.
that for 3 decades, so it's not new. But Austin Willman on Facebook, on LinkedIn. If you want to check out my Speed to Lead voice agent, it's willman.ventures/speed to lead. And yeah, you can check it out and talk to my AI. JP was grilling me on it before we got on the call, so I'll make some tweaks, and by the time you guys listen to this, hopefully it'll be smoothed out.
Cool. All right, Austin. Thanks, sir. Appreciate it coming on board.
Thanks, JP. Cheers.